Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Tony Rizzano, and this is another episode of the world famous, the University Love, the best podcast in 1, 2, 3 galaxies. But ladies and gentlemen, you and I, we just call this show Online Marketing Moves, and we are coming to you live today. You know, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, today we are going to discuss putting out your content wherever you possibly can go. Now, we talked about this before, but I'm going to give you, we talked about this before in the past, but I'm going to tell you why you should do it and why you should always make sure that your content is going out to every single place. Okay? I'm going to give you the perfect example. Now, as you all well know, if you've been listening to this show for a while now, I had a baby. Last week of July, had a baby, and for about the first 2 to 3 weeks, had a baby. I had a struggle, doing the show, keeping up with the podcast and everything like that. And, it's hard work, but there's no excuses, And so I was still doing the podcast, but now I started to notice something. I started to notice a decline in my numbers, And I said, I wonder what's going on. Why all of a sudden, I would get, listen, this show is not the Joe Rogan show, okay? We're not getting 1 million downloads within the first 2 minutes, The first couple of hours we get, 2 or 3 downloads. And then, it's always like, for when you're a smaller show, it's not about the downloads you get immediately. It's about the downloads you get within a week, a month, 2 months. Because sometimes there have been episodes I've uploaded them and then 1 or 2 downloads, and then by 2 months from now I'll have like 100 downloads, something like that, something crazy. But I noticed that the numbers were in the decline, and I was trying to figure out why. And then one day, I happened to look on my Anchor app, and I noticed that it was only going out to 2 places. It was going out to Spotify, and it was going out to Anchor, of course. And I'm thinking to myself, why is my show not uploading in the different platforms? And I guess I had to redo. I guess I had to redistribute the podcast to the other platforms like I've done in the past, And I thought to myself, that's a mistake. And then I thought, oh boy, we're gonna have to get back on top of that. So, my podcast has not been going out to all the proper places that it normally goes to, and so that's why the listenership had hit a snag. But I'm here to tell you to always be mindful of that. Always be watching that, because you can't. It's hard to go from I was getting quite a bit to very little, and it's like what's happening? I know the content is not. I can't start sucking, because in the beginning of the show is when I was at the worst. So it can't be the host has got that bad, I looked away, took my eye off the ball, and forgot to read. I guess at some point, Anchor got bought out by Spotify, and at some point, they're like, no, you're only going to be on the Anchor app. Now, if you want to redistribute your podcast, you have to do it manually, So I had to go back and do that, and so. I was thinking this week, it's all about plans, It's all about plans, and you want to put your podcast. Listen, when you're a little engine, you want to put your podcast in every place on God's green earth. Okay, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, Google. What's another one? Apple, Breaker. They got all these different little podcast places. Wherever you can put your podcast, wherever you can put your videos, put them every single place. and always be watching that, because you are not the biggest dog yet. Okay, you're not the biggest dog in the yard, but you can have the best bite. Okay, so I want you to be mindful of that and always be on top of that. I made a few mistakes. Since I made a couple mistakes when my child was born. One mistake that I made, I had content uploaded, and that was okay, but I should have had them uploaded, the shows lined out, and I should have had them ready to go like that. Sometimes I would wake up early and do a show, but it's, sometimes it's just hard. It's just hard, especially in the like I said, I have no, there's no excuses. I'm not making any excuses, but me and my wife, we take care of the mother-in-law and the baby, and sometimes you have to realize the situation you are in. It's not about, it's not like, I can't do it because I'm taking care of an adult and now I have a baby. It's about, all right, you're in this situation, so what are you going to do about this situation? Take care of the stuff before it gets too out of hand, you know what I mean? And so that's on me. And so I'm just here to tell you, before, like, let's say you have an upcoming thing going on, create the content, but at the same time, make sure you're uploading it's like email. Make sure because you can upload emails for like 365 days a year, Make sure you are uploading this stuff ahead of time, Get on top of it and you don't have to worry about it. I remember one time when I first started recording, one of the smartest things I did was I had recorded 3 shows on one day, and then I came back and recorded 4 shows, and then I uploaded every show. And for this whole week, I had got kind of sick, and I was on the truck trying to work and be sick at the same time, and it wasn't meshing well. But I did not have to worry about it, because every day the podcast would drop, boom, 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 for those 7 days. So I was like, thank God that I did this, and you figure as the podcast grew, I would get wiser, but I didn't think that I didn't think that the task at hand was going to be so tall when it comes to taking care of because I had to go back and forth with my mother-in-law and my wife at the hospital, and I didn't realize that was going to be such a tall order. And another thing, like I said, there's no excuses. My wife had the baby like 3 weeks early, so that sort of threw me off too. But if you're already ready, you don't have to get ready. You know what I mean? So I'm just here to tell you, upload your content everywhere, and be mindful, and always be watching. Always be making sure that your content is getting uploaded. Make sure that your content is being listened to, and just keep an eye. You have to be real particular about this kind of stuff, You don't want to leave it up to somebody else. You want to make sure that that these things are happening. And if you can, whenever you get a chance, let's say you have a little extra time, because I do this now, record an episode here, record an episode there, like, I'll be honest with you, the wave of the baby hit me, and I'm like, woo. I didn't wipe out, but I mean it was a little tough. But I've gotten, now that I've gotten adjusted, and we're rocking and rolling. I'm starting to record a few more episodes here and there. We're gonna do something with those, but just be mindful of that, and just always be recording content. Always be recording stuff and storing it, keeping it. You don't have to upload it that day. You can always. There's tricks of the trade. You don't have to say the date. You don't have to say, hey, this is the day, this is the year. You don't have to say that. You can just talk. And you can just go on through with it. You don't have to, do all that kind of stuff and date yourself, you know. So you might want to use it for bonus purposes later on, you know. But just be mindful of yourself. Be mindful of your situations. Always be watching. Make sure that your content is getting uploaded. All right. And ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Okay. Put your content in turn, ladies and gentlemen. But ladies and gentlemen, we will be back tomorrow with the all new episode of Online Marketing Moves. But until then, my name is Tony Rizzano. Thank you for everybody.